I also want to move over to the Senate on the leadership question, Mr. Manchin, because Senator Chuck Schumer has also faced a ton of heat from within his own party. Semaphore reported last month this headline: Schumer's Democrats push back leadership debate, saying the caucus has no real mechanism to jettison Schumer and no appetite to do so, according to interviews with more than half a dozen Democratic senators, but is also torn over whether to even discuss the topic. Senator Manchin, what do you make of Senator Schumer's leadership in this moment?
Well, let me first say this about everything Kevin was saying is exactly correct, because on the House side, the Speaker has almost ultimate power there. On the Senate side, it's basically the committee strength, and the committee chairman used to be strong way back when. They basically controlled it, and the majority leader in the Senate was like a traffic cop. Then that all changed completely to where the majority leader in the Senate, such as Chuck Schumer, is the same strength almost as the Speaker does, ultimate power, or John Thune right now, who's the majority leader. What I wanted to say before, what Kevin was talking about, do you think he should be concerned of his job? First of all, Mike Johnson should understand, this is not a profession. This is not your livelihood. It was never intended to be. Public service is public service. It's not self-service. It's not a career. You get in there. I'm almost committed now, more so than ever, on term limits is what we need to maybe get one good term out of everybody.
So, Mr. Manchin, do you disagree? Do you think Johnson should be concerned about his job?
It makes no difference whether he should. I would never be concerned about it. I never did care if I lost or not. I was just going to do what I thought was right. I could go home and explain it. If Mike Johnson can explain sending everybody home for a 7-week vacation, then God help the people of Louisiana. If he can explain they're getting paid when no one else was getting paid and the government shut down, and he can go sell that back home, then there's a problem, okay? Now, there's no way you can do that. Quit paying them. If you're not going to work, you can't get paid. If we can't do a budget, you shouldn't get paid. We cannot continue to make the people of America suffer through basically the ineptitude of the Congress to work. We've got to make it work, and they have to understand they're responsible. So people are voluntarily quitting and retiring. Chuck Schumer, basically where he is now, he's 75 years old, he'll be 75, and he has to decide, okay, you've been at this all your life for 50 years, that's all you've done. It's been a career. Do you think that enough's enough?
What would you recommend, Mr. Manchin? What would you advise him?
Oh, I wouldn't give Chuck advice. I would just tell him this. Chuck, I don't think you were ever what I would call liberal or progressive to the left. But you got moved to the left because you thought that's where your caucus was. And I kept telling you, I said, Chuck, you keep moving left. I told Joe Biden, you keep moving left, it'll be your Waterloo. It'll be the doomsday for you, because you cannot go left enough to appease the people that don't have any rationale, common sense. And that's what's happened. So if he can bring that back to the middle, I don't know if he can. I think there's some people basically can work in the middle, and we'll see what happens. But unless you're going to be talking, he and John Thune should be talking daily. They should be having coffee or lunch or something. That doesn't happen. No, I can only talk about the Senate. I can't tell you what happens in the House. But I can tell you I did not see any type of camaraderie between the leaders, who should be lockstep of knowing where they agree, where they disagree, how they can get over their differences, or just move on so they don't tie the Senate up so we can get our job done. That, I don't see that conversation going on anywhere right now, and it hasn't for quite some time. So Chuck's got to make a decision. Does he want to stay there and fight? He might think he has security within the Senate caucus, his caucus, who likes him, and Chuck has good personality. You can sit down and work with him, talk with him, argue with him, and good camaraderie back and forth. The bottom line is you've got to get something done. You can't try to protect everybody, and Kevin will talk about this too. Kevin wants to put something on the floor, or we want to put something on the floor in the Senate. And then the leadership, everybody comes and says, hey, wait a minute, I'm up in cycle this year. Now, the Senate House is in cycle every 2 years, but the Senate will start saying, we got 30 guys, we got 15 Democrats in cycle. You can't bring that hot item up, because we'll have to vote on something that'll be very hard for us. They'll use it against us in our state.
Well, gentlemen, as we talk,
you're there to make tough votes.
We are